Satoko and Rika-chan were already there waiting for me. While the injuries on her face, covered with band-aids, looked painful, Satoko seemed to be full of life. It almost looked as though her wounds were from playing too hard or something.
じゃあ、昨夜は結局診療所に泊まったのか？
ええ、私は全然平気ですのよって言ったんですけど、監督たちが一晩様子を見たいなんておっしゃりますもので。
お医者さんがそうしろって言うんだから、素直に従った方がいいと思うけどな。
わかった。診療所で一人でお泊まりするのが怖かったんでしょう。夜の診療所には成仏してない霊がいっぱいいるそうだからね。
That was not the direction I thought your joke was going to go beyond.
サトコは僕と一緒でないと眠れない体になってしまったのですよ。はあ、どうして一緒じゃないと眠れないのかな。
それはですね、一人だと怖い夢を見てとんでもない寝言。
I still find it a little bit weird that Shion's the only one of the kids that calls Rika by Rika-chama. I'm still a little bit surprised by that. I'm still a little bit surprised at Shion calling Rika Rika-chama, because usually that's the name that the older people of the village give her, but also Shion's using it. That's very interesting. I think I pointed this out before. Yeah, I think I pointed that out before. No sooner had Shion finished that sentence than a bucket went flying into her face. Satoko started chasing Shion in circles, like they were playing tag. I really missed this rambunctious fun.
こんな当たり前の風景がもう取り戻せないかもしれないって思ってた。
そうだな。でもな、取り返したぜ。俺たちでな。
主に頑張ったのは圭一だと思いますですよ。圭一が相談所に訴えようと自分で言い出して、圭一がみんなで押しかけようと言って、みんなに声をかけたのです。
そうだね。ケイちゃんが最大の功労者であるのは私も認めるよ。今回の一件でひなみ沢に前原圭一ありってのはだいぶ知れ渡ったと思うからね。
はあ、圭一くん有名になってモテモテになっちゃうのかな。
You're gonna have some competition, Rena.
そりゃあモテモテになるね。
And you too, Mion.
婦人会のおばさま方にチヤホヤされちゃうよ。いいよ、モテる男はつらいね。
Ooh, you two need to work harder because old ladies can be quite competitive. I'd be fine with that if I could divide their ages by 3. Many people were wearing yukatas. It was still June, but it felt more like it was the middle of summer. Once we finished climbing the stairs, we could see the festival and the crowd enjoying it. The Furude shrine was packed with people, leaving the grounds looking nothing like their usual quiet self. Lanterns of various colors were hung about, and people were swarming the various festival booths, giving the whole place an unorganized yet pleasant atmosphere.
すげえ人だな。ひなみ沢ってこんなに人がいたんだ。
渡流しのお祭りはみんな来るよ。多分ひなみ沢の人の半分くらいは来てるんじゃないかな。
それだけじゃないよ。近隣の町の町会や子供会も招待してる。
そうだよな。俺たちの学校あれしか生徒いないのに、今日は子供の姿がやたらたくさんある。
お祭りの賑やかさはやっぱり子供の賑やかさだからね。
She's right. I'm in agreement there. There were lots of booths around too. They were by far the best part of the festival. Booths selling takoyaki, yakisoba, shaved ice, apricot candy, sauce senbei, chocolate bananas. There was a yo-yo game, a goldfish game, a shooting gallery. There were countless booths here.
露天商は町からわざわざ来てくれてるんだよ。やっぱりこういうのがないとお祭りは盛り上がらないよね。
で、それを俺たちは荒らして回るわけか。どんな勝負にせよ、俺は負けないぜ。
That's the spirit.
そうだね。頑張ろう。
ハロロン。遅れて申し訳ないです。
Weren't you walking with us?
私がビリでした？ならこれで全員揃いましたね。
このメンバーが揃うとのんびりお祭りを楽しもうということにはなりませんのね。
そりゃそうだよ。今年も行くよ。綿流し祭、6人か。
Whoa.
六強爆投。
さとこ、今年は気兼ねしないで思いっきり楽しみましょうなのです。頼まれなくても気兼ねなどしませんわ。大暴れさせていただきますのよ。
よっしゃ、サトコ、その意気だぜ。
昨日までのことなんか今夜で吹き飛ばしちゃいましょう。
今日はみんなで思いっきり遊ぼう。全員が揃うなんて1週間ぶりだもんね。
そうさそうさ、今夜は全員で祭りを遊び倒すよ。
Oh, here we go. Okay, the battle's going on. Ah! Wait, did Takuno and Tomatake join them? Ooh! And Irie got wrecked. They were all having so much. As we ran around frolicking, a lot of people approached Satoko. Some were concerned for her injuries, some sympathized with how she had been treating so far, and some even insisted that she could join them. And all that must have been discerningly fresh for Satoko, who wasn't used to it. Satoko said that all the unusual kindness was making her feel uncomfortable instead, but I knew she'd blank.
おや皆さん、早速はしゃぎ回っているようですね。
That text was up for way too short of a time to read. I'm sorry that I didn't get to read that. That took me out of the loop. That took me off the loop. I was not expecting text to appear on the screen. Sorry about that. And hello, Wishi. Hi. Whoa!
Rika chan.
Oh god, I forgot your sprite! I forgot your sprite looks like that! Ugh! Okay, yeah, I forgot your sprite looks like that. Jesus. Yeah, they still do you pretty dirty, Akasaka. They still do you pretty dirty.
約束通りに来たよ。
Okay, no, okay, the more I look at it, it's not bad, it's just the hair. It's just the hair that...
盛大に盛り上がってるね。
どちら様でございますのかしら。リカの知り合いですの？赤坂は肝心な時にいなくて使えないのです。
なんだろう。私、怒らせるようなことをしましたか？
実はですね、赤坂さんが温泉へ行かれているほんの1週間ほどの間にですね、 とても大変なことがあったんです。
はあ、リカちゃん、その人っておもちゃ屋さんで会った人だよね。よね。
ああ、そういえば大石さんと一緒にいたね。この人も警察の関係者さん？
What was that face change? She smiled for a second and then she frowned. Alright, this is reading. When Akasaka had arrived, I believe what it took to change fate was the power of an influential individual, or so I thought, but it turned out that was a misunderstanding. Okay, now the text is long. Okay, individuals don't make miracles. Everyone must come forward to make them happen. That's why I thought I could defeat fate as long as I had Akasaka by my side. It was all in my head. Even if he had been there by my side, we probably... I'm not saying that Akasaka was at fault. That's not the point at all. I may have considered him useless, perhaps. Even I'm astonished by my foul-mouthedness. Let's forget about such things tonight.
Oh, yeah?
At the end of this video, host-editor me is going to read all these, really fast white screen black text moments of Rika's narration. Because even reading it in my head, not even reading it out loud, but reading it in my head, that is way too fast to read. Even in my head, I think that would be a little bit too fast. Unless I was speed reading. I'm sorry. Let's continue on.
前原の坊主じゃないか。噂には聞いてるぜ。
Usually that's a bad thing to hear. But this time it's a good thing.
聞いたよ。なんでも、オレオのばあさんと日本刀ぶつけ合って納得させたっていうじゃないか。
お？
やるね
え。そんなことしてないっす。平和に話し合いをしただけですよ。
何で？
しかし偉いな。みんなを率いてお役所とちゃんと交渉したんだもんな。前原のお兄ちゃん、アンザーメサービスするよ。何本いる？
ケイチくん、いいな。今日はモテモテだね。ケイチは熟した果実が好きに違いないのです。リカが何を言ってるかわかりませんが、どうせろくな意味ではありませんわね。
Keiichi got a lot of attention too, wherever he went. In order to save Satoko, he took the initiative, and hence his leadership abilities were now shown throughout the village. Moreover, him persuading the village council and Oryu herself, everyone had understood just how much Satoko had been ostracized by the whole village, and they also understood how unreasonable it was for it to continue long after the damn war was over. Seeing Keiichi's efforts to break through, with that said, now Keiichi Maibara had become the hot topic amongst the Himizawa people. Naturally, everyone wanted a glimpse of this Maibara Keiichi, and hence the bargain archers saw an unprecedented turnout. Even though he started off red-faced, once he got over his shyness, Keiichi showed his true colors, eliciting rapturous cheers from the crowd with sheer energy and momentum. The Watanagashi of Showa 58. Even after this, I'm sure Keiichi will continue to steer the village into new adventures to come. Having such a young leader appear has made the village elders rather assured. Fuck.
昨日助けに来てくれたおじさん。昨日はどうもありがとうございました。
紹介が遅れてるね。県議会議員をされてる三郎おじさんだよ。こっちは市議会議員をされてるケンおじさん。
昨日は来るのが遅くなってすまんかったね。
I'm still surprised they didn't get sprites. Though they only show up very briefly in one chapter, so I can understand why they didn't draw them. And yet they draw Kameda.
相談所への道を一歩間違えちゃってな。
Aren't you part of the local government?
いや、でも頼もしかったです。やっぱり議員は強いですね。
住民の代わりに喧嘩をするのが仕事だからな。強くて当然だわい。 さとこちゃんも無事で本当によかった。これからは何かあったらいつでも相談してください。必ず味方になりますよ。
They rubbed Satoko's head while they spoke.
ありがとうございますですわ。
Back in the main tent, having been the last to rush in, were the many influential Sorazakis. They were all folk we became indebted to yesterday. Except Satoko, everyone bowed their heads, until just a few days ago, but Keiichi had broken through it all. Having reflected upon their thoughtless insensitivities, I doubt any of these people will discriminate against Satoko again. In fact, they bowed their heads, apologized for their actions, and promised their assistance in everything worth to come in the future.
本当に立派なお子さんをお持ちで羨ましいですな。
いえいえ、ケイイチなんてとんでもない。お、ケイイチ、お父さんたちも来たぞ。
ケイイチくんのご両親だ。こんばんは。はじめましてなのです。
Oh! Rika changed into her Miko robes. Aww. Wait, when did she do that?
ケイイチのニャーニャーをしておりますリカなのです。
What's a meow meow?
どうもはじめましてですわ。北条聡子と申します。
あなたがさとこちゃんね。こんなにひどい怪我をして本当にかわいそうに。
今後も何かあったらケイイチをぜひこき使ってやってください。それと引き換えと言ってはなんですが、
Get away from Satoko!
ぜひ今度モデルに。
Get away from Satoko!
なんだか監督と近い属性を感じるお父様ですわね。
すまん。こういう親父なんだ。
I guess he might get along with Irie. Well, he gets along with Oishi just fine, so he'll probably get along with Irie.
でも、温かくて楽しそうなお父様でしたよ。
What is happening? Wait, what the fuck? What the fuck? She duplicated! Satsuko duplicated! She duplicated! Oh my god! Is there going to be any comment about that? Keiichi's parents were also at the festival. They were quite the fuss for having such a magnificent son, being the parents of today's big... I'm gonna give up on these. Keiichi's father had proudly volunteered to make posters for this town council, if they ever arose. I heard from Keiichi the posters his father makes are so good that people steal them. I look forward to seeing them.
こんな楽しい綿流しのお祭りは僕も初めて見ますのです。
Hanyu.
そうね。私も初めてよ。というか、あんたの方が長生きしてるんだもの。あんたが初めてなら、私にとっても初めてに決まってるじゃない？
でもきっと綿流しという名前のお祭りになってからの中でも一番賑やかで楽しいお祭りだと思いますのです。
そもそも綿流しのお祭りが楽しいお祭りになったのはここ数年のことでしょ。明治以降は退屈な古出家の儀式だし、それ以前は鷹の好みのお祭りだったはず。
Poor Hanyu.
ごめん。今日は意地悪はなしね。楽しみましょう。私たちも。私とあなたを祭る夜なんだから。
I heard Hanyu whisper in disbelief that only recently there was a world where Shion tortured Satoko to death. That horrific world. This happy ending world. It's all the same Hinamizawa. Hey, I read that in time. I'm sure that the people who only know this world believe unwaveringly that Himizawa was destined to have a happy ending. Only Hanyu and I know. Only the bystanders know. Which is why I'm certain that we understand better than anybody else just how much of a blessing this world is. If Keiichi and the others gave in to their temper without fighting side by side, this day would have never come. If Keiichi lost his temper, he would have committed a crime today. The same goes for Shion. She would be a criminal by today. In Zeruno's case, she would already be 3 moves ahead and would have finished the burial by now. Of course, there is actually a world where I lost it. I ended up getting myself killed. How hopeless. Anyway, none of those worlds were any good. We weren't able to take back our happy world. So I'd given up, but nobody else had. We all united to bring about the miracle that needed to happen. A miracle happened because everyone united. I really butchered that. This might come as okay. Post-editor Michael will struggle with that pronunciation. Yeah, he's gonna struggle with that one. That's it. The miracle that couldn't have happened without everybody coming together. The miracle that would have been if even one of us had given up. It's thanks to Keiichi, who taught me how easy it is to break through fate. If everything is fate, and there's a meaning to Keiichi's existence, just what is it trying to tell me? I already knew. The meaning of resisting fate and it means to fight it. Never again I will give it to fate. Not once more. So I tried telling her, but she's as stubborn as the oddest times and evaded me with a simple ow ow. I wanted to read that last line, okay? Because I know I was not going to get to it if I tried reading the whole thing. And it's the moon. Higurashi no Nakukoro ni Kai. Wow. A faded notebook. The rally. Alright, what is a faded notebook? Watch therefore, for ye know not what hour your Lord doth come. But know this, that if the good man of the house had known in what watch the thief would come, he would have watched, and would not have suffered his house to be broken up. Therefore, be ye also ready, for in such an hour as ye think not the Son of a Man cometh. Even God doesn't know when he will descend once more. He is constantly prepared for that day to come. Have faith in your God at all times. Your God doesn't even know when he'll see the light. Do not spare any effort. Study hard every day. Have the passion for discovery. You never know when you will be rewarded, but that day will come for sure. Until then, you must let the fires of your passion burn bright. Hifumi T. And that's a faded notebook. Anyways, I want to keep this video the calm before the storm, so I'm ending at the end of chapter 10 right here, right now. And before I end this video, let's get on to post-editor Michael for him to do some reading that I kind of couldn't do. As we ran around frolicking, a lot of people approached Satoko. Some were concerned for her injuries, some sympathized with how she had been treated so far, and some even insisted she could rely on them if ever in need. And all of that must have been discerningly fresh for Satoko, who wasn't used to it. Satoko said that all the unusual kindness was making her feel uncomfortable instead, but I knew she was just being shy. Right now, this is what it took for Satoko to truly feel that the village has been reborn. When Akasaka had arrived, I'd believe what it took to change fate was the power of an influential individual, or so I thought. But it turned out that was a misunderstanding. Individuals don't make miracles. Everyone must come forward to make them happen. That's why, when I thought I could defeat fate as long as I had Akasaka by my side, it was all in my head. Even if he had been there by my side, we probably wouldn't have been able to do anything, and would have only disappointed ourselves. I'm not saying that Akasaka was at fault. That's not the point at all. I may have considered him useless, perhaps. Even I'm rather astonished at my foul-mouthedness. Let's forget about such things tonight. It's been a couple of decades. Why not celebrate our reunion instead? Keiichi got a lot of attention too, wherever he went. In order to save Satoko, he took the initiative, and hence, his leadership abilities were now known throughout the village. Moreover, him persuading the village council and Oryo herself were now legendary tales of his heroism. Everyone had understood just how much Satoko had been ostracized by the whole village, and they had also understood how unreasonable it was for it to continue long after the damn war was over. Seeing Keiichi's efforts to break through that taboo so refreshingly was a glimpse of a new future ahead for the village, and his heroic deeds were praised by all, old and young. With that said, now Keiichi Maibara had become the hot topic amongst the Himizawan people. Naturally, everybody wanted a glimpse of this Maibara Keiichi, and hence, the bargain auction saw an unprecedented turnout. Even though he started off red-faced, once he got over his shyness, Keiichi showed his true colors, eliciting rapturous cheers from the crowd with sheer energy and momentum. The Watanagashi of Showa 58 of that day became home to a special fervor that was never before seen. Now, Keiichi has the admiration and recognition of the whole village. Even after this, I'm sure Keiichi will continue to steer the village into new adventures to come. Having such a young leader appear has made the village elders rather reassured. Back in the main tent, having been the last to rush in, were the many influential Sonozakis. They were all folk we became in debt to yesterday, except Satoko. Everyone bowed their heads. Until just a few days ago, everyone present was someone who could have been bad-mouthing the Hojo family if they had sat down to drink. But Keiichi had broken through it all. Having reflected upon their thoughtless insensitivities, I doubt any of these people will discriminate against Satoko again. In fact, they bowed their heads, apologized for their actions, and promised their assistance if anything were to come up in the future. Keiichi's parents were also at the festival. They were made quite the fuss for having such a magnificent son, being the parents of today's big hero. According to Keiichi, since his parents rarely left the house from being busy, this was a good chance for them to interact with the villagers. Keiichi's father had proudly volunteered to make posters for the town council, if the need ever arose. I heard from Keiichi the posters his father makes are so good that people steal them. I look forward to seeing just what kind of posters they are. I heard Hanyu whisper in disbelief that only recently there was a world where Shion tortured Satoko to death. That horrific world, this happy ending world, it's all the same Hinamizawa. I'm sure that the people who only know this world believe unwaveringly that Himizawa was destined to have a happy ending. Only Hanyu and I know, only the bystanders know, that here in Himizawa, beyond a membrane so thin, that it was even thinner than a goldfish catching net, there were worlds which had met tragic ends. Which is why I'm certain that we understand better than anybody else just how much of a blessing this world is. If Keiichi and the others gave in to their temper, without fighting side by side, this day would have never come. If Keiichi lost his temper, he would have committed a crime today. The same goes for Shion. She would be a criminal by today. In Rena's case, she would already be 3 moves ahead, and would have finished the burial by now. Only Mion never blew her fuse. I'm not sure whether to call it prudent or cowardly. Oops, that was uncalled for. Of course, there was actually a world where I lost it. I ended up getting myself killed. How hopeless. Anyway, none of those worlds were any good. We weren't able to take back our happy world. So I'd given up hope, but nobody else had. We all united to bring about the miracle that needed to happen. A miracle happened because everyone united. This might come across as self-aggrandizing, but I don't think that there would have been a miracle if even just I had given up and denied unity. During that last call, if I hadn't taken away the phone receiver from Keiichi, I don't think Satoko would have sought our help. That's it. The miracle that couldn't have happened without everybody coming together. The miracle that wouldn't have been if even one of us had given up. It's thanks to Keiichi who taught me how easy it is to break through fate. I, who had given up from the outset. If everything is fate and there's a meaning to Keiichi's existence, just what is it trying to tell me? I already knew. The meaning of resisting fate and the means to fight it. Never again will I give in to fate. Not once more. The mirror opposite of what Hanyu told me, not to hold expectations for anything. Even Hanyu must be able to cause some sort of miracle if she just believed without giving up. Or so I tried telling her, but she's stubborn at the oddest times, and evaded me with a simple ow ow.
OK OK